Alright, what is up boys and girls, welcome back to another video. As always, thank you very much for joining me. I am Crypto Maximalist. Please do like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Today I'm checking out HyroTrader again, who have kindly sponsored this video, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about them in the next 8 or so minutes. So thanks a lot for checking out the videos as always. Checking out HyroTrader again and some of the trades that I took recently on ByBit through HyroTrader as the prop firm. If you don't know who HyroTrader are, they are a crypto prop firm, which means you can buy challenges with them. If you take a quick look here, you can see you can essentially buy a challenge for a set amount of money, and then if you pass the challenge by hitting the targets, then you can get a basically a 100k account for, in this case, as you can see, $599. If you pass the challenge, then you basically get $100,000 of funding, which you can trade the markets with, which obviously can be very, very lucrative in crypto. And I'm also showcasing that they do pay out, which is one of the main things that people are always worried about with prop firms, is whether or not they pay out. And as you can see, I've got 3 payouts now. A few at the start, smaller amounts to test, and a slightly larger amount of a 1,400 USDT here, which obviously shows that they have been paying out. I've received all of these successfully, which is nice to see. Over the past week or so, I've had around $2,000 or so of payouts on my challenge, which I have been running, which is a 25k account, which is very nice indeed. Overall, really good opportunities in the markets, and I thought I would dive into ByBit and essentially show you some of the trades that I have been taking recently. So we're on ByBit here, as you can see. I'm just going to go into some of the trades that I did take. Obviously, we had a very nice move yesterday in the markets and so far today as well. I did take a trade on XRP. If we take a quick look at XRP, if I can actually get this up. Sometimes the menu can be a little fiddly on ByBit. So as you can see, if I go on my 1 hour time frame, XRP has obviously been absolutely flying to the upside, up to and touching the all-time high at the minute. If you look at the 4 hour, you can see we were kind of forming up this formation here. We've essentially got our resistance like this. When we broke and retested this, I did take a long position. It's very simple trade really. You can see if we just take a quick look at what's been going on here, you can see we've basically been going sideways for a little while, but kind of coiling up really, forming a resistance and a support like this, as you can see. And then when we got that break and retest, when we're in a really bullish market structure for XRP, as you can see, I felt like it was a pretty obvious trade in my opinion to take a long position. So as you can see, resistance tested multiple times, consolidating under resistance here, the break and the retest into this area, and at this point I did take a long position. Where's my long position tool? Honestly, I don't have any of my usual tools on here. Here it is. I took a long position on this retest here, stop loss just below this recent low here, and then basically moving up to the all-time high, which was this level up here, around a 4-to-1 risk to reward. And as you can see, this came up and hit very quickly in the space of a few days. 3 or 4 days here, we basically ran all the way up to the take profit and hit, which was a really nice trade. And overall made a lot of sense, considering that XRP was looking like very bullish in comparison to a lot of the market, and heading up towards the all-time highs. The take profit made a lot of sense because people will probably start selling out at that area, as it is a major resistance, and definitely somewhere where I thought that we were going to get a decent amount of resistance formed, and probably just a decent and fairly standard place to take profit at a all-time high level. Obviously lots of resistance there. Another one I've been looking at is Solana. This was another good trade. If we take a look at the 4 hour again, I might put this on the daily actually, just because you can see it in a bit more detail. As you can see, Solana here, if we take a look at the chart, let me just make this a bit easier to see. As you can see, we've obviously been going sideways for a good while, but very similar to the XRP trade, but on a bit of a longer time frame. You can see here, obviously we were going sideways in a range for a good while, up and down and up and down and up and down. Eventually broke this resistance here, had a nice move. Again, a similar thing to XRP, came up, tapped the all-time high up here. Let me just make this a bit easier to see. I like white better. Doesn't matter. Anyway, you can see we came up, broke through this resistance here, tapped the all-time high, came down, back down to this support here. We came back up into resistance, and then once we retested down here, which was, we are looking at here, the same day as that XRP trade, where I thought the whole market was about to reverse back around because of Bitcoin as well. You can see we came down and retested this trend line, previous resistance as support as well. And I thought that the whole market was going to move back around. If you take a quick look at what Bitcoin was doing, Bitcoin was actually in a range itself. I really need to stop moving off that menu before it actually allows me to look. You can see Bitcoin here has been kind of going sideways in a range as well. retesting this area here, specifically down here at around 92k over and over again. We came down, grabbed the liquidity, and then bounced back up from that level. And obviously the whole market following Bitcoin, I thought Solana would be a decent trade from this level as well. With all of these confluences, I did take a long position on Solana down here as well once we got that rejection. Stop loss below the wick, and then we had a tape. My take profit's actually more like it's up here, but I decided to close out because the whole account was in a decent amount of profit. I thought I'd take some profit just to showcase that we are getting payouts from HyroTrader consistently over the past week or so. The payouts are basically the same day as well, which is really cool. So they're pretty much on-demand payments. Once you pass the challenge, really good stuff. So you can see here Solana's come up to a previous resistance right now. It remains to be seen whether or not we'll break out of this range that we formed here for Solana, which is likely, you know, as I said, highly correlated to Bitcoin's price action right now. If Bitcoin continues up, we'll see Solana back towards this all-time high pretty soon. But right now we're sitting at around a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward so far. Probably be looking to target up towards this area if I left the trade open, but still a really nice trade. You can see pretty simple stuff really, just a break and retest, and then this lovely liquidity grab a wick down below this area, but back testing into this previous level again, and then the bounce with the wider market. A lovely trade. And the last trade that I took was on Veracity, which is a crypto I cover on the channel all the time, so I have quite a good amount of experience surrounding trading Veracity. You can see here, very similar to a lot of the other cryptos. Let me put this on logarithmic so you can see. Veracity is slightly different because it's really smashed down from its all-time high. Not actually going up and testing an all-time high, but you can see that we basically had this really nice impulse here. And generally speaking, in crypto, you do get around a 50 or 60% retracement and then get a bounce. You can see this local impulse here from around 1/5 of a cent all the way up to 1/8 of a cent, so around a 4x. Then we came down, back tested into this previous level of resistance here as support. We've got a slight deviation down below, but pretty much just came down perfectly to this previous level of structure here, around a 60% retrace of this move. We came down, back tested into this level really nicely. We bounced from here once, and then when we came back down again, as I said with Bitcoin, I thought the Bitcoin would bounce and lead the market to the upside. And you can see that's pretty much exactly what happened with Veracity here. I took a long position at this level. Once we saw that big wick rejection, as you can see here, I started to see this rejecting. If we look at the 30-minute, you'll see in more detail what I'm talking about. We obviously, as you can see, much more detail on this recent move now, with this bounce to the upside. And then when we came down and back tested into this level again, and I saw that we were getting these big wick rejections, you can see this huge volume coming in at this level here. 2 big green candles, massive wick rejection of the lows. Once we had a little bit of a retrace, I did take a long position in this area. I had the stop loss quite wide on the 30-minute, and then the profit target was up here, back into this area of structure. As I said, I would have targeted the high up here, which would have been around a 1 to 4 again. We got about halfway there before I decided to close out on the trades overall. Overall, these were 3 really good trades that led to me getting around that, up to around $1,800 of profit, 70% profit split, so I got about 1,400 paid out, which is really good to see. As you can see, these were 3 pretty solid trades that worked out. Pretty much all the same thing in the markets. What have I done there? I've accidentally backed out into my API menu, as you can see. But anyway, as you can see, 3 really good trades, basically all following the market. And in crypto, I do tend to wait for long positions. I don't really take short positions because I just feel like they are potentially super risky in crypto, because things can always decline to the downside very fast. Generally what I do is I wait for pullbacks in areas that I think that price will bounce at and take long positions. And as you can see, these 3 worked out very nicely, basically correlated to this price action for Bitcoin here. As you can see, pretty much just grabbed that liquidity below this level here where everyone thinks we're going to dump, and then we came back inside the range, and now we're testing the top of the range here. Let's see what happens next with Bitcoin. But overall, HyroTrader has been very good, and as I said, got those payouts down here. As you can see, $1,800 USDT of payouts over the past week, and I'll be looking to do more videos in the future on HyroTrader. Go check them out in the description below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.